All right, guys. Fulu coming to you with another quick little video. Just want to give my. I'm not going to give a prediction, so to say, about the fight. I'm just going to give like my some reflections I'm taking of the fight. The thing is that when we look at the fight on paper, the experience factor, the resume factor, the power factor, the favoritism factor, the nationality factor and what have you. Everything goes into favor with Canelo. The boxing world is against Caleb Plant, even. The majority of fans who are in Las Vegas right now are against um, Caleb Plant as well. Now, granted, I could have went there and covered the fight, but I decided not to go just for the simple fact it was hella crowded, and also for the simple fact I didn't want to see or I didn't want to get into any like fights because I know one of them would have disrespected me. I would have had to test his jaw. Like I know, like for a simple, I know because I know myself. I know that would have happened, and I need not to do that because it's happened in the past. And I wouldn't want it to happen again. But anyhow, when we look at the fight, the odds are against Caleb Plant. The boxing world is writing him off. You have everybody from Bomac, Mike Tyson, Jamal Charlo, who ironically in the Showtime All Access Part 2, ironically went up to Caleb Plant to say, you'll beat Canelo. But outside of that, Showtime All Access 2, he was one of the ones who said that Jamal Charlo was way over his head. Right? So he's just trying to butter him up because he wants a fight. Now, if he knew some Spanish, he probably would go over to Canelo and butter him up and try to get a fight from him, and probably agree with Canelo about Demetrius Andrade Bugatti being a horrible fighter, who he won't fight because it's simple fact he'll get beat. Now, the thing is that Caleb Plant, he's overcome many obstacles in his life. Most of the obstacles have happened outside of the ring, but perhaps, maybe, I don't know, those obstacles that energy will translate to overcoming obstacles inside the ring. You know what I mean? There are certain individuals who, when they have every odd stacked against them, they manage to thrive. They manage to excel. They manage to basically prove the world wrong. Certain people have that ability, to do that. I don't know if Caleb Plant is one of them. We will see tonight. Now, the thing is that He seems confident. There's no stuttering in his voice. There's nothing like that. He's trying to speak it into existence about what's going to happen. Now, um, if he were to win, it would be equivalent of the planes that hit the Twin Towers. You know, it would shake up the whole world, basically, if he were to do it. I'm not saying he is going to do it, but I'm just saying if he were to do it. Because the boxing world is writing him off. You have had some people even say that his career will be ended and he won't come back the same after this fight. You have people who have went that far in saying this thing. So if Caleb Plant were to do something incredible, it would probably make me think about the true essence of boxing and what boxing was originally about. Defining the odds, going against the grain, going from nothing to something, doing it fair and square, basically. Those were the original essences of boxing, right? So, one thing that I want to highlight and reflect upon, and I know this sounds crazy coming from me, but I'm just going to keep it a buck. I believe his wife was with him before, the fame happened, before he hit the big time. She saw potential, and, decided that why not ride it out and, look towards that potential as something great, In doing so, it created a bond that makes me think that she's not just looking for him to bring home a payday, that she's looking for him to bring home a W with the payday. And this is the type of woman you need in your corner when you're doing like a big endeavor. You need a woman like that. You need a woman who basically is fully invested in part of your plan. She doesn't have her own agenda. She's part of his plan. She doesn't have the agenda of, say, Brittany Renner or a Blue Jasmine or something like that, which surprises me, but goes to show that there may be a couple left, but it's like a lotto ticket if you do find one. So I think hopefully that will be added motivation to him to to find the odds in this fight. I'm gonna leave it with one more thing, and I'm not trying to get philosophical on you guys, or I guess you can say I'm not trying to get religious on you guys, but there was a story that was basically passed down to me through my through one of my teachers back in my village. And it's kind of equivalent to what we're having right now. So in pre in pre-Islamic Arabia was a lawless society, although they did have like a couple of uh, core values that they went by. It was pretty much a lawless society. You had women, you had like just wild things happening back then. So when Islam came and brought a new order of the day, um, it brought open conflicts, right? And so these open conflicts created battles. One such battle was called the Battle of the Trench. In the Battle of the Trench, you had Nailadu alayhi salatu salam, his followers, and you had one of his followers being Ali ibn Abi Talib, rahmatullah alayhi. Now, Ali was the cousin of Nailadu alayhi salatu salam, and he was one of the most loyal to Nailadu alayhi salatu salam. So, an enemy from the opposing side by the name of Amr ibn Wadud came up and said, "Who wants to challenge me? Who wants to go to paradise?" Now, Amir ibn Wadud, you have to understand something about Arabs back in the day at that time. Arabs back in the day at that time were phenotypically, they didn't look like what they do now. And physically, they don't look like what they do now. And their physical statures aren't the same. Back in the day, if you look at the original Arabic sources, a large majority of the Arabs were described as jet black or brown, but also their physical statures were described as muscular, and what have you, because you have to understand they're living in the desert. It's a harsh environment. They have to do physical things. There was no air conditioning. There was nothing like that. They had to engage in physically demanding things, right? So, in addition to being muscular and what have you, they were also pretty physically tall. And when we say physically tall, we're talking about in excess of 9 feet tall. Okay. So this warrior, Amir ibn Wadud, who was known for being a ferocious warrior, known for victories and things like that, right? He came up and said, "Hey, who wants to fight? Basically, who wants to try me, right?" So Ali said he would. Now, granted, Ali was more on the short side, rahmatullah alayhi. Ali was probably like, give or take, maybe like 6'3". That's not short today. In today's standards, that's not short. But in Arabia, pre-Islamic Arabia, that's short. So, Ali said, I'll do it, So Nailadu alayhi salatu salam was like, "Ali, sit down, He was actually, a little bit worried, alayhi salatu salam, about Ali challenging this big giant guy. Granted, Ali was only like 28 at the time, rahmatullah alayhi. So you know, the Neladu alayhi salatu salam, he asked if someone else wants to come up, step to the plate and challenge. Nobody accepted. So Ali said, I will. So the Neladu alayhi salatu salam, finally said, okay. He put his helmet on Ali. Now, Amr ibn Wadud, he said he was shocked to see Ali. He was like, you're my father's friend. I don't want to kill you. He's like, man, I don't have anything against you. Go sit back down. But Ali, he said, yes, but I want to kill you. That's what Ali said, And so when Ali said that, Amir ibn Wadud charged at him. Ali was unfazed. He got his helmet and his sword ready. He put on he used his shield. When they were fighting, the dust settled. The dust got kicked up and all you heard was the clash of steel. And I believe Ali was wounded in that battle. However, what he did is, since Amir ibn Wadud was such a giant person, Ali used fleetness of foot to slash his legs and I believe slash his kneecaps, which means he lost the use of his legs, which means he fell over. Ali was going to kill him, Ali was prepared to kill him. Amir ibn Wadud uttered insults at Ali. So Ali walked away. And also Amir ibn Wadud spit in his face as well. Ali, rahmatullah alayhi, he walked away. However, Ali then returned and then killed Amir ibn Wadud. I believe he decapitated him, if I'm not mistaken, from what was passed down to me. So Neladu asked Ali when it was all said and done, why did you walk away from him? He said, if I would have killed him right then and there after he spit on me, I would have been doing it out of the anger for myself. I had to walk away to check my ego to make sure I was killing for God's sake. And the reason why I tell this story is because Canelo is Amir ibn Wadud. While I won't compare Caleb Plant to Ali, I'm not going to say that about Caleb Plant. I can't compare anybody walking this earth's surface to Ali. I will say that if he exercises the same killer instinct, yet calmness of Ali ibn Abi Talib, then there's a good chance he can get his hand raised. I won't say he will, but there is a good chance he can. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Me and my co-host, inshallah, will be back here with a live reaction video when the fights and all the dust settles and the smoke clears. But anyhow, Fuller signing out. Njad Armor, neighborhood.